to the option. Daddy, can we give the tiny one?
What's up, YouTube? Back for another video. As you guys can tell if you watched any of my previous videos, we have finally got a mic. The audio will hopefully finally sound better. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really pumped for it. Hopefully this helps my views and stuff like that. But also hopefully it helps you guys watch the video more because the audio kind of sucks. So I figured out kind of what to do here and how we're gonna go about this, or how I'm gonna go about this with the mic. So I'm super pumped about that. Hopefully this helps out a lot. Hopefully you guys enjoy this a little bit more and get to actually hear me and hear me hopefully at the same volume regardless of where I'm at. So, but yeah, the audio should be a ton better in these videos from here on out. So let's just get to it. Let's get past all that crap. So we got deadlift today. We got a top single. We're going to pull around 385. Should be pretty easy single for me. So even with the switch to sumo, this should fly off the floor. So let's get warmed up real quick. Let's pull this single, and then we'll do some back off sets, and we'll see how we do. You know. .385 moved very well. Very happy with that. I thought the speed was very nice. I watched it back, and I will say that angle I probably shouldn't record from. That like front from top looking down, it made me look like I was not even like my hips were not down. Like I don't know. It made me look like I pulled like horizontally from the floor with my back, but it felt really, really good. So we're gonna do some back off sets. I'm pretty okay with the way that my form is now. I think I can work out the kinks, just whatever. But I'm gonna stop doing the pause reps, and we're just gonna do some just straight back off sets. And even our speed day, I'm just gonna keep that as like straight sets. I can't see the value in pause for sure. I definitely see the value more in pause for sumo than I do for conventional. But I don't see the point of it right now leading into the competition because the movement pattern that I want to get down now, especially since I'm newer to this pattern, is just like up, down, not up halfway, stop, go again. I just want to get the pattern down of like we're from the floor up, now maybe later on, you know, after the meet, or maybe like a prep or two from now, maybe I could understand keeping in pause as a secondary movement, or even as the back offs for an extended period of time, even leading up into the meet. But for right now, I really need to get the movement pattern down. And honestly, I just want some heavy exposure. If I'm pausing, I have to lighten the load a bit. And right now, I think we're gonna see how this block goes, of course, like always. But I think it'd be more advantageous for me to get some heavier touches. So we're gonna do some doubles right now with 365 as our back offs, and we're gonna kind of see how that goes. something too with this deadlifting. So admittedly, I had the same problem on conventional, but I thought honestly, I thought it might be a little easier on sumo. Maybe not easier is the right word, but I thought it would click. You know, I thought something different would click. But from going from conventional to sumo, I've obviously had to figure out a lot of things. And some things came pretty natural from going from conventional to sumo. I think hip hinging feels pretty all right. I can feel the tension in my glutes, my hams, whatever. Now, I will say, like, finding that tension in my quads has been like a bit of a problem. That's been a big adjustment period. You know, pulling into that bar and feeling your quads, I feel like in a different way, where I'm getting a lot of quad tension from the rotation of like my knees, my ankles, my hips. Like that's where I'm building that tension at. That's been a bit of an adjustment for sure, as opposed to conventional where I feel a lot of tension in my quads by just shoving my knees over the bar. So as we get our form a lot more dialed in, you know, we make those small little tweaks just to see like where we're at or where we should be. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling better with my bracing, my leg drive, just quad tension in general. You know, the movement pattern, I can feel it's a much more like up and down. You know, I can feel my lats engage a little better. I can always tell my lats are engaged when I'm scraping the bar up against my legs, you know, from my shin all the way up my thigh. When I can feel it really like dragging, I know my lats are on. The one thing I can't get down, and if you got a little fix, please let me know what it is. It's upper back. I don't know how I can feel the tension in my upper back. Like I don't know what that feels like. And I feel like in sumo, I should be able to feel it a little more than I would in a conventional. But that's the one thing I'm struggling with right now. So I'm trying to keep that just in mind for these back off sets as I'm trying to like pull myself in, right? And feel the tension from what I've heard, like a lot of people talk about it, is more like, you know, set your brace, set your legs, get everything nice and tense. And you like pulling the slack can be a good way too, or even, you know, getting the tension out of your upper back is the way to pull slack. You know, but either way, slack pull and upper back tension, tightness are, you know, go hand in hand with each other. However, I just don't feel that way. And I don't know if maybe I do feel it and I just don't understand like what it is per se. But that's the one thing I'm struggling with right now. So I'm trying to find that in these back off sets of like setting myself in, you know, getting the tension where I need it, you know. But honest to God, like from here down, I can feel the tension pretty clear. So I don't know. Let's do another set. Let's see if we can get that upper back tightness, tension a little bit, you know, where we need it to be, and go from there. It would be really easy for this bench right now, honestly, to like take it easy. And I don't mean even like intensity wise, but it's really easy to get real lax with this stuff, right? And get into a position to where this is like my 4th time this week that I've benched. And, you know, so I'm benching every single day that I train. It would be extremely easy for me to take this as a time to chill out, you know, when it comes to things like form, or, you know, am I throwing it back in the rack? Like kind of like the whole command thing that we talked about. It'd be very easy for this day to turn to that, to a day of just like, all right, let's just go underneath the bar. All right, cool, throw her back. All right, let's do it. Let's not really care about the pause, whatever. But I feel like this is the type of stuff that's like, this is what's going to translate more towards the meet is days like this. You know, because I will be tired, exhausted. I will kind of not feel like, you know, maybe by the third attempt, I don't really feel like taking a third attempt. You know, maybe I'm too gassed by then. Maybe I've been in the heat too much, humidity or whatever, or I'm just starting to get burned out. Where I feel like this is kind of the days where it's like, all right, I benched 4 times this week. I haven't touched the weight under 225 for a back off set, for any straight sets at all, for this whole week. I could take this really chill. I could just take this out, not have a ton of leg drive, not really care about my arch, where my feet are set, whatever. But I feel like it's way, way, way better that if I'm gonna do this, my whole point of this day being another competition bench is to drive technique home, you know, drive my form of like how my leg drive set up, how I set my arch, my tightness, my tension, all that stuff. The commands, drilling the commands in my head of like waiting until I hear like the bench command, the press command, the rack command, whatever, and doing it in these such as sequences of like pausing and waiting until the bar's motionless, you know. That's what I need to drive home. That's the whole point of this day. So I'm going to take basically the point of this day and I'm going to use it for what I wanted it to be, which is exactly this. I want it to be something that would drive home my form, my technique, and you know, the commands, all that stuff, and still get a good amount of volume out of it. Because we're still doing a 3x4 here, you know. This is 240 right now, so still a good bit of work for me. But obviously don't want to go overboard with the weight, but weight intensity aside, the load aside, the intensity needs to be there with the mindset of the form needs to be dialed in, my arch needs to, my leg drive, I need to feel a consistent leg drive throughout the movement, all that type of stuff. Keep my arch high. All the things we've been working on needs to stay the same here too, regardless if this is my third or fourth or second or first bench of the week. You know, what priority does it lie under? It doesn't matter, because I still need to treat it as if it's a single at the meet, or when I get to the meet and I take the single out, it ain't gonna feel the same. It ain't gonna work. The commands are gonna mess me up. My form is gonna break down, all that stuff. I don't know. That's how I look at it. All right, so this is very last little bit of my workout here. So we got some belt squats. A while back I had made a bunch of different belt squats. This is one of them. I ain't gonna lie to you, this is probably the hardest one that I've made. So I made a cable one, it was all right. I made a little lever one, you can see in the background there. But this one by far is the hardest one. It takes the most load it takes the least amount of load to get some work in. Let me put it that way. So I need to adjust the chains, as I can see now watching this back, that, you know, depth wasn't there, but I mean, who cares? It's a belt squat. It's not what I really am trying to get here. But definitely could go a little deeper on it, but did like it. Super heavy. For the load that it is. I do like the other one, however, though, but it is what it is. But and we're gonna finish up a little bit here with some like incline lat pullovers. I did 2 sets of these. I think I only included 1. Then we're gonna do some like cable adduction or whatever. It was the last little part, but I don't know. That's pretty much really all I got. I think it's probably gonna just play out when I'm done here. But if you like the video, please like my video. Subscribe to my channel. I post this stuff 4 times a week. I don't know. My whole thing is I just try to show like normal training. So I have a wife, I have kids, I have a job, I'm just a normal dude. So all this has to fit into a normal schedule. So if you like that type of stuff, subscribe to my channel, watch more of my videos. I post Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday normally. But that's pretty much all I got. So let's just let the video play out. I don't really have an outro, so at some point the video will just kind of cut off, but eh.